My grandfather owned men like you. That's what he said. Then he leaned in, too close, and spat, right next to the guard's polished boot. The sound? Sharp, wet, final. The royal guard didn't move, not until the old man reached for his badge. And then, with the calm precision of a soldier trained not to flinch, he turned. "You will not dishonor this uniform," he said. And that single sentence? It didn't just shut down a racist tirade, it silenced an entire palace courtyard. Before we show you how it all unfolded, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from today. And if you believe respect should be earned, not denied, this is a story you won't forget. Let's go back to where silence met provocation, to the moment discipline refused to flinch. Mid-autumn. Golden morning light spilled over ancient cobblestones as a stream of visitors entered the grounds. Some were tourists chasing bucket lists. Others, families, veterans, children, paused in reverence. Standing post in full ceremonial regalia was Sergeant Darius Cole. Scarlet tunic, bearskin cap, white gloves, rifle at attention, not a flicker of distraction. His skin, a rich mahogany, gleamed in the light. His expression, carved from discipline. His lineage, mixed. A Sierra Leonean mother, a British father, a family line of warriors stretching through colonial war zones and royal barracks. He wasn't just standing guard, he was standing legacy. The courtyard grew quiet as an old man approached, his shoes polished, his posture military. A tweed jacket stretched tightly over a broad chest. His regimental tie gleamed beneath a row of campaign pins. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Alan Whitcomb, age 73. He surveyed the grounds with narrowed eyes and nostalgia. "Magnificent," he muttered to a young family nearby. "We used to have real soldiers, real tradition." But when he turned the corner and saw Darius, the mood shifted. His lips pursed, his eyebrows furrowed, and then, slowly, he began to approach the post. Whitcomb circled the guard like a drill sergeant from another century. He barked facts at passing tourists about uniforms, tradition, bloodlines, but his tone sharpened when he reached Darius's position. "In my day," he muttered loud enough for several to hear, "guards didn't look like this. They came from proper families." Darius didn't flinch. He stood taller. Whitcomb raised his voice again. "I led men in Aden. You'd have been cleaning their boots." Now the crowd noticed. Tourists frowned. A mother pulled her son closer. A whisper of discomfort stirred the air. "I suppose this is progress," Whitcomb continued with a sneer. "Putting the Empire's children in uniforms they never earned." Still no response. But behind Darius, phones began to rise. Tourists hit record. The moment was shifting from awkward to dangerous. Whitcomb stepped closer, too close. "You don't belong here," he said directly. "This post was meant for real soldiers." A young man in a Royal Navy veteran cap stepped forward. "That's enough," he said. Whitcomb waved him off. "This is between servicemen. You civilians don't understand order." And then Whitcomb did it. He spat, next to the guard's boot. "That's what I think of this uniform," he growled. "A mockery, an insult to men like me." A collective gasp rolled through the courtyard. Security began to approach. A child started crying. Then Darius turned. Not wildly, not with rage, but with precise control, the way only a royal guard can. He locked eyes with the man, and he spoke. "Sir," Darius said calmly, "Lieutenant Colonel Alan Whitcomb, 5th Regiment, DSO, Military Cross, served under Colonel Harrington." Whitcomb blinked, stunned. "My father, Sergeant James Cole, served under your command in Aden," Darius continued. "He told me you were brilliant, rigid, but brilliant." Silence fell like snow. "My grandfather, Daniel Tuay, served in Burma under British command. He received the Distinguished Conduct Medal." A pause. "I earned my stripes the same way you did, sir. Through discipline, through blood, through sacrifice." Darius didn't raise his voice. He didn't list medals or make accusations. He simply stood and told the truth. "I attended Sandhurst, 2 tours in the Balkans. My mother was born in Freetown. My heritage is British. My blood is service." His voice softened, not out of fear, but out of confidence. "Your service deserves respect, but your prejudice does not." He returned to his post. Eyes forward, rifle ready, ceremony unbroken. Whitcomb staggered back. Around him, the crowd now stared not at the royal guard, but at him. An old man lost in a world that had moved beyond his map of belonging. "You don't belong here," he mumbled, unsure who he was speaking to anymore. A woman in a military widow's pin stepped beside Darius and saluted. The rest of the courtyard followed. Security didn't escort Whitcomb out. They didn't need to. He walked, alone, shoulders still straight, but spirit shaken. As he reached the gates, he paused, looking back one last time. "Your father was a good soldier," he muttered, the only truth he had left. Have you ever seen someone stand tall in the face of prejudice? Share your moment in the comments. And remember, some uniforms are earned in silence. Some traditions are guarded by those who were never expected to wear them. Subscribe for more stories that reveal the quiet courage behind the red tunic.